What's up guys, my name is Victor and I'm back here with another tutorial for you. Today I'm gonna build a Quiz Ract.js app. Here is the demo. So I'm gonna have 3 questions in this quiz. Each question is gonna have 3 answers and one of these answers is the correct answer. So the first question is, what US city is known as the birthplace of jazz? And we have Chicago, New Orleans and New York, and the correct answer is New Orleans. So if I click on this option, it becomes green. We get a notification which is saying correct answer. There's a next button, so we can click next. On the next page we get a new question and we have 3 other answers here. And the question is, what is the capital of Greece? And the correct answer is Athens, but I'm gonna pick Patras. I don't know if I pronounce it correct. I apologize for not pronouncing it correct if I'm not. So Patterns, I'm gonna click here just to show you how it looks like whenever you choose a wrong answer. So this option becomes red and we have this notification here which is saying incorrect answer, and we have this next button, so I click next. The last question is, what planet gave birth to Superman? And we have Krypton, Mars and Saturn. So I'm gonna choose Krypton because this is the correct answer, and we see that it becomes green and we get this notification here, correct answer. So now I can click next, and then on the last page you have completed the quiz. Your score is 2 of 3 because we had 3 questions and we answered with the correct answer just 2 questions, and then we have thank you. So it's a pretty easy example. The reason for this video is just to give you an idea. Maybe have a project you are working on that's similar to this one, so watching this video you can get an idea where you can learn how to work with this multi-step forms and stuff like that. So that being said guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm using my Ubuntu here. I've already opened my folder and I'm gonna create a new React.js app here. So I'm gonna type in sudo create React app and I will name it Quiz React. Right, this is asking me for the reason I'm using sudo here is just because I'm working on Windows and I have installed Ubuntu. This is command line for Ubuntu, and I have this sudo which is the root user, and I have to use sudo just to get the full permission to do whatever I want here. So oops, create React app not found. Okay, so I probably forgot npm. npm is not working, and it's because I have to use npx. I always confuse them here because I'm not usually working on my laptop. This is my laptop guys. I'm not usually working from my laptop. I'm just recording videos from my laptop, so that's the reason for not knowing all these commands right now. Okay, this is gonna take a while guys, so I'm just gonna pause the video and I'll resume it whenever it's ready. Okay, so here we go, it's done. Now let me open it. So I have cd quiz react ls clear. I'm gonna open my VS Code here, but before I do that I'm gonna close the current one. This is from the demo. Alright, so let me open my VS Code in this folder. I'm gonna write everything from scratch guys, so if you want to follow along with me, you're more than welcome. There's also gonna be a link in the description for the source code from where you can grab the code. Okay, so first thing first, I want to clean up my index.html file for a bit, so I'm gonna remove these comments from here. Just open the public and index.html. Right, I'm gonna save it. Now I'm gonna open my terminal. If you're using VS Code, there is a terminal tab, and then click new terminal. And here I'm gonna type in npm start. This is gonna open a new tab in my browser with a new app. So I have it here. I'm gonna close the demo stuff. It's taking a while, guys. I'm sorry about that. This laptop is really slow. I'm gonna blame on the laptop. Okay, so here we go. This is how it looks like right now. Um, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started from the source folder, app.js. So let's open this file. I'm gonna remove everything from my div class name app, and I will say hi for now. I will save it. We go back and we have this hi here, which is we see that it's working. We will have to create a new folder in the source folder, which is gonna be components. So we have components. And then here we will create a new file which is going to be quiz main. So we have main.js. In the same folder I'm going to create a new file which is going to be quizmain.css. Okay, in the quizmain, in this file quizmain.js, here we will have, this is going to be the file which is going to handle the most of the functionality from this app. So let's go ahead and import here React and also the component from React. Alright, here I also want to import my CSS file, so import CSS. This is gonna be a class. As you already see, I have the component here, so I'm gonna type in export default here on top, because so I don't have to write it below the class. So I'm typing here export default class quiz extends component, and here it's going to be a render function, and in the render function we have return function, and here we will have an empty wrapper for now, and I'm going to say hi from quiz like this. Alright, let's save it. Now let's go ahead and import it. I'm going to remove this logo from here, and let's go ahead and import this quiz main.js file. So let's type in import quiz from components / quiz main, and I want to call this component here in my app class. So we'll type in here quiz. Now we'll close it like this. Well, let's save it. Let's see. So we have this hi from quiz, so the import stuff works good. Okay, next thing we want to do is actually want to add some styling in my app CSS file. I will delete everything I have here except my app class. And here in my app class, I want to get rid of this stuff, and I want to add width 100%. So I want, this is gonna make it full width. There's gonna be a background color, and the color is gonna be F0, 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 and padding, it's gonna be 50 pixels on top, on the bottom, and then 10 pixels on the side. Okay, and there's gonna be another class which is content, and here I'm gonna have display table. This is where all the content, our app's content, is gonna be. So we have display table, max width, it's going to be 800 pixels, and we have width 100%, margin 0 top, bottom, and auto on the sides, which is gonna center it, and then we have a background color white, and padding 30 pixels like this. Okay, I'm gonna save it, and I can actually close it too, but let me see if it works. Okay, so we've got this one here. One thing I forgot to add the content class. So I'm gonna do that in the quiz main here, where is this empty wrapper. So this is gonna be div class name content, and I will close it here. Let's save it, let's go back, and this is how it looks like. This white block is the content. Okay, now I will close this file because I don't need that anymore. App.js as well. Quiz main.js. This is the main file, this is the main functionality. So here I'm gonna add the state because in the state we will have all the questions and answers. So initiating the state. Alright, so here we have state, and we assign an object, and this object is gonna have questions. It's gonna have questions, answers, and there are gonna be a few more. So let's add for now questions. Here we will have 3 questions. So the first one is going to be, what US city is known as the birthplace of jazz? So I'll paste it here. What US city is known as the birthplace of jazz? You can put any other question if you would like to. And I'm gonna paste 2 more questions here. The second one is, what is the capital of Greece? The third one is, what planet gave birth to Superman? And then that's all for the questions. Now here we will have answers, and here we will have 3 answers for each question. So the first question, these are the answers for the first question. This number 1 means the first question. Okay, so here we will have 3 other answers. Alright, the first one is going to be Chicago. The second one, it's going to be New Orleans. Alright, third one, it's going to be New York. Okay, now the second question, the answers for the second question. Here we have the first one, it's going to be Athens. This is what is the capital of Greece? Athens. And then the second one is Patras. Sorry if I'm not pronounced that correct, guys. The third one is Kalamata. Alright, and then let's do the same thing for the third question. So here we have 3, and here we have 3 other options. So we have Krypton, which is what planet gave birth to Superman. So the first one is Krypton, the second one is Mars, and the third one is Saturn. Okay. Alright, then we have questions, answers, and we will also have we'll have a state which is gonna have the question and the correct answer. So we have here correct answers, and the question 1, the correct answer for the question 1 is the answer 2. So from this question 1, the correct answer is number 2. So that's what we put here, 2. And then the correct answer for the question 2 is 1, which is Athens. Alright, this. And then the third question, the correct answer for the third question, which is about Superman, is Krypton. So we have 1. Alright, also in the state, here we want to add the correct answer. it's not the correct answers, it's just the correct answer, we will use this one whenever we will click on those options. This I will explain. You'll see later what we'll use this for. We will have also clicked answer. Clicked answer, which is 0 by default. We will also have the step, which is 1 by default. Using this step, we will be able to navigate from one question to the second one, then to the third one, and so on. And there's going to be also a score, which is 0 by default. Alright, this looks good. Next thing we want to do is we want to create another folder in our components folder. Let's save this file for now. So in our components folder, I'm going to create another folder which is going to be the question. So this folder is going to be question. Here we will create two files. The first one is going to be question.js, and the second file in this folder is going to be question.css. Okay, in the question CSS, here I want to add just styling for h1 tag, so we will have content h1. Here I want to add margin of 15 pixels and 0. And also this h1 is going to be, the question is going to be wrapped in h1 tag. So we are adding the styling now for that h1 tag. This is the styling for our question h1, which is going to be red, as you remember on the demo. So we have font size 25 pixels, and then we have font family Arial and sans serif, and then we have font weight, it's gonna be normal. We also have here color, which is a kind of a red, so it's DA0F0B, like this. We have the text transform none, and then we have text shadow none. We actually don't need this one. I left it here just because I was playing with some other styling. I had some shadow there, but anyway. And then text align left. Okay, I'm gonna save this one, and here now let's open our question.js. Let's import React from React. This is gonna be a functional component, it's not gonna be a class. And here we will have, let's also import the style CSS, this question.css file. So import question.css. Now here's the functional component. We will call this component from here because we will grab a question and we will send it to this component, and here we will add styling to this component, and then we will return it. We will export it from here, and we will output it here in the return function. So okay, here let's have this functional component. So we'll have const question. I'm using ES6. We'll have props, of course, and here we will have a return function which is going to say h1. Okay, we have h1. Here we will have the function, but for now let me remove these props. But for now here we will add just question, just to make sure it works, everything works fine. Let's import this question component in our quiz main.js file. So let's add it here right below wherever we import React, right below that. So we have import question from question folder / question, and let's copy this question, and I want to call it here wherever we have our hi from quiz. I want to paste it there as a something like this. So there's an error because I didn't export it. Okay, something is wrong here. I've got this question. Let's export this file from here. Export default question. And there's still an error. Let's open this one, and it's saying line 4. Okay, in the question JS person error, unexpected token expected, this one here. Okay, let's go back and let's see what's going on. Okay, I misspelled it. It needs to be const. I forgot about that as. All right, let's save it. Let's go back. So we see here we have question. All right, so the import, we imported them properly. Now let's go ahead and create the functionality for this one, so it actually outputs the question from our state, from the quiz main.js file. And to do that, let's add some properties here wherever we have our question. How do we add properties? Well, we add properties like this in the following way. Let's see. The first one, we will have just one, which is the question. All right, we just want to send the question, as I said, to this file and then just output it from there. So here's going to be question equal to question dot step, because we will have different steps. This step from here, actually the number from here is the question number. So by default the step is 1, which means that by default we output the first question. All right, and to do that, here we want to output actually the first question because we're in the step 1. Whenever we will have a button, and whenever we will click on that button, the step it's gonna change from 1 to 2, and here we will grab the second question. We will send it to the question.js component. We will add this styling here, and then we will export this one and we will output it here. So to do that, here we should put the state first. So this is going to be this state dot question, and then here we will have step like this, because the step is 1, so we get the first question, we grab the first question. Now, just to avoid typing in all the time this state, in the render function we can add something like this, let, and this is going to be questions, for example, because we will be using questions from the state. So paste here questions equal to this state, and now I can use just question without this dot state dot question, just like this. All right, I'm gonna save it. Step is not defined. Okay, so we should also define the step here, because the step is also from the state from here, because otherwise we will have to type here this dot state dot questions, and then where the step is we will have to add this dot state dot step. So this is less code. All right, let's save it. Now let's go back to our question.js file, and here let's add props, because we have props. This is a prop, the question. So we get the props here. Now in our h1 tag we want to output the prop. Oops. And here we will type in props dot question, like this. Let's save it. Let's go back. So here we see the first question: what US city is known as the birthplace of jazz? Okay, we've got the question working. Now we should add another component here for the answers, because we need to output those answers from the state. And to do that, we should create another folder, another component kind of in our components folder. So this component, it's going to be answer. So we should create a separate folder, which is going to be answer, and then here we will create 2 new files. One is going to be answer.js, and the second one it's going to be answer.css. All right, in the answer CSS we will have quite a bit of styling here, But let's start from the answer.js from here. It's going to be, this is going to be a functional component as well. So let's import React from React, and we want to also import the style. So we have dot answer CSS. All right, this is a functional component, so we'll have const answer. This is gonna get some props, of course. I'm gonna just type in here props for now. So here, what's gonna happen here is the following. We can actually close this question file and then the question CSS file as well. We leave just the quiz main CSS for now. Okay. All right. What's gonna happen here? In our quiz main.js, we want to send all these answers. Where is that? All these answers to this component, but we will send just for the specific question. So if we are on the step 1, we want to send only these answers for the first question. All right, for the current question. So by default we are on 1, so we send first time, we send all these answers, three answers. And to do that, we should we should import this component, of course, but let's add just a return function here. And we are going to, this is going to be a list. So we have UL, and here we will have a class name, and this UL is going to have a class name and name answers like this. And here let's just have a list. Let's have just one item, and this is going to be question answer. Let's just leave it like this, just to make sure that we import it properly. Actually forgot to export this one, default answer like this. Now let's go ahead and import this one here below our question, below wherever we import the question. So we have import answer from answer folder / answer, and then we want to output this answer below our question. So we have here like this, and then we add few properties here, of course. The properties are the following. We want to send there the answer, which is we want to send the answers for this question. So we have answer, and we have here equal, and here we send the answer of the step like we did here. This means we should add answers here. Should copy this one and we should add it here, so we don't have to type in this state for that. So answer, so we have answers and the step. So we send all the answers for the current step, for the current question kind of. And then below here we want to send the step, because we need the step there as well. We will also send the step. Okay, let's just send this one for now. Answer and the step. Let's go back here. We have the props here. Now what we want to do here is we want to loop through this, because we're sending a whole object. We're sending these objects one by one, right? And to do that here, we should loop through this object props.answer. All right. Let's see how we're gonna do that. Now above our return function, here we will have a let answer variable, and we will assign the object dot keys. That's how we loop. So here we add the object. We have props dot answer, and then here we have dot map. So we want to map through it, and here we have the key name, which is question answer, and then we have I. All right, and then we have here ES6, of course. Oops, and here needs to be parentheses like this one. All right, map answer I. Here we add the item. We have to add the li tag, and this li tag, it's going to have a key. All right, and the key is going to be key answer, and then here we will have the following. We will have props dot answer, and the key is going to be question answer. That's the position. Okay, we got this one here like this, and then wherever we have our list here in the return, we just output this variable, which is answer. So let's save it. Let's go back and see that we've got these answers here. Chicago, New Orleans, New York. Oops, New York, I misspelled New York. You probably guys already saw that before, but okay, New York. Alright, it's New York. Okay, back to our answer.js. And now we should make them clickable, but before we do that, let's add some styling though, because it looks like it's not very professional. We should add some styling here. So in our answer CSS file, let's add some styling for the answer class and for the list. So we have answer, and here we have list style none. We want to remove those dots, and then we have margin 0, padding 0, and that's it for this class. We also want to add some styling for the answer li tag. So we have padding 10 pixels, and then we have border left. There's going to be a left border left of 4 pixels solid, and this is going to be FF grade B, which is kind of like a red, and background color, it's going to be BBB, which is like a gray, and then margin top and the bottom 0, on the right side 0, and on the left side top 0, right and left 0, and then 5 pixels on the bottom, like this. All right, let's see, hover. Now let's add some styling for whenever we hover over, but let's save this one for now. Let's come here. Nothing happens now. I'm wondering why. Answer CSS, we've got the answer li. Maybe didn't refresh. Is there any error in the console? No, we don't have any errors. Inspect. Let's inspect this one. Let's see. No. Oh, just because. Okay. I didn't type in correct. Needs to be answers. So here we go. We've got the styling here for our answers. Okay, let's go back to the styling. We want to add some styling for whenever we hover over, because right now there's not any. We hover over, nothing happens here. We'll just add some styling for that stuff. So we have answers li hover, and here we want to add cursor pointer, and the background color, we want to make it a little darker, so it's going to be A2. All right, we save it. Let's go back and see. So we have some styling for hover over it. All right, actually that's it for now. We will have some more styling here, but that's going to be for later. Now we want to create a functionality for whenever we click on this answers we want. Whenever I click, for example, Chicago, I want to check is this correct answer or not. So to do that, we will have to have an event here for where we have all these li items. We should add an on-click event. So let me clean this up a little bit like this. Here we will have on-click event, and whenever we will click on this one, we want to call a method. And I'm using ES6, so we want to call a method from our props. We didn't add it yet, but we will add that. So we'll have props check answer, and we will send the position, the answer key. So we have question answer, which is the actual question number. All right, so we have it here. We've got it here. Now we should create this one, check answer. We should create this one in our quiz main.js file. Let's save it for now. Let's go back here. Nothing's gonna happen now whenever you click on this one. Actually, it's gonna throw an error, which is type error props check is not a function because we don't have it yet. So let's go back to our quiz main.js file. Let's create this one above and below our state. So we will have check answer, and we will have a parameter, which in our case it's going to be that's the question number. So question number, let's just have it answer. If it's just one parameter, we don't need the parentheses. Now here I'm gonna use the same thing, const this state as we did in the render function. So I don't have to type in all the time state. In this method, I'm gonna use the correct answer. So I want to get this one and paste it here. Correct answer, also the step, and the score, like this. Okay, now below, I'm gonna have an if statement. So there's gonna be if answer. But what actually? So whenever we click here, let's see. Whenever we click on this one, on one of these answers, this is an answer.js file. This is where it happens. So whenever we click on this answer, on one of those answers, you see this on click event, we call this check answer method. Check answer method is here in the quiz main. So how do we add this method to the props? We don't have it here yet. So let's add it here just so it looks more clear to you. Here we will have check answer, and we have this dot check answer like this. Right, so that's how we have it here. Now we send this prop to our answer.js, and then whenever we click here, we call it. So it comes here back. So we call it here. We have a parameter which is answer. The question answer, Q answer, that's the answer position. So we actually, what we send to this method is the number of this. It's one of these numbers. Either if I click on New Orleans, I send 2, or if I click on Chicago, I send 1. Okay. Now having that number here, I check if answer. So where am I? Okay, so if answer is equal to correct answers, let's see, correct answers by step, because the correct answers are here, right? So if I'm on the step 1, I go to correct answers, step 1, and the correct answer is number 2. So now, is the number of the answer I clicked on equal to 2? If it's equal to 2, then that means that the answer I clicked on is the correct answer. All right, hope that's clear, guys. I hope that's clear for you. If it's not, just go over, take your time here, and go over this one more time. Just make sure you understand, because this is really important. Okay, so we check here, is the answer on which I clicked equal to the correct answer? from here. If it is, then I want to update the state. So we have this set state, and here I want to update the score. So the score is going to be score plus 1. I'm going to add a point to my score, and then the correct answer becomes correct answers. Where is that? Correct answers. The correct answer. So the correct. I update this one because I want to. So let me add this one later, just so I don't confuse you. Okay, for now I update the score, and then here I want to correct answer, clicked answer. All right, let's just update the score for now. I'll save it. Yeah, correct answer is not defined. What is that? Correct answer is not defined. Okay, I didn't add this one here. Correct answer. Okay, like this. Just make sure this one matches this one, right? Okay, let's go back. I'm gonna open I have a React extension. If you don't have it, just search for it. It's called React Developer Tool. You have installed it here. Whenever you install it and you open your console, it's gonna add 2 more tabs. It's gonna be components, and then here you can see your components. So I'm gonna click on quiz, and here I can see all my state, which is the answer, correct answer, and I have the score, which is 0 for now. Okay, I'm gonna refresh it one more time. So I have the step 1 and score 0. If I click on, for example, Chicago, nothing happens. If I click on New Orleans, the score is changing because I clicked on the right answer. Okay, if I click on another one, nothing happens because I don't have functionality. But we see that this works. All right, the method works. Now what I want to do is I want to, if I click on New Orleans, Orleans, I want this one to be clicked. I want it to stay clicked because it doesn't, it doesn't look like I clicked on it. And I also want to make this, I want to disable these answers after I clicked on one of these answers. Okay, so I can't change it. And to do that, I created this correct answer and clicked answer. So here, wherever I clicked on the correct answer, I update the score to add a point to my score. And I also want to update the correct answer with the correct answers by step, like this, correct answer step. So in this way of my step, okay, correct answer. So in this way I know which one is the correct answer, and I can send it now as a property to my answers.js component, so I can keep it clicked here. I can keep it so I know which one is correct, so I can keep it like, clicked on it. I can make it green or red, or I can play with it. Okay, so I have score answer here, correct answer here, and I also want to add the clicked answer. The clicked answer is also important because, for example, I know which one is the correct answer now. I send it here, but I also want to have the clicked answer in case I clicked on the wrong answer. All right, so I have clicked answer. I update it with the answer like this. Clicked answer. So make sure you add this stuff. Make sure you add them here like this, and click answer. Actually, we don't need them here. I don't know why I was thinking about that. Okay, we have this if statement. Otherwise, else, if the answer I clicked on is not correct, else I update the state. So I have this set state. I still update the state, but I'm doing something different here. If it's not, then I still clicked on an answer, right? But if it's not, then the correct answer is 0, and the clicked answer, I assign the answer like this. because I still need to know which answer I clicked. It doesn't matter if it is correct or not. Okay, after I did that, I'm going to add these ones to my as props to my answer component. So here I'm going to have correct answer and clicked answer. So it's going to be correct answer equal to correct answer, and I want to make sure I have it here so it doesn't throw me an error. And I also want to send the clicked answer like that. So just make sure I have it here as well. Alright, I will save it. I will go back to answer.js file, and here I want to add a class. So I know, like, I want to add a class to this li tag, because if I clicked on correct answer, I want to make it green. If I clicked on the wrong answer, I want to make it red. Okay, so to do that, I want to go here above onClick event, and I'm gonna add a class name, and this class name is gonna be equal to, I'm gonna have curly brackets. Here's gonna have I'm gonna have some functionality. So here I'm gonna have props dot correct answer. From here, this is like an if statement. So if the correct answer is equal to the question answer, to the current question answer, I'm still in that loop, so it takes one by one. Just keep that in mind. If it is equal to that, then that means that this is correct. Otherwise, if the clicked answer from here, if it's not the correct answer, but the clicked answer from here, it's equal to the question answer, then that means that I got incorrect answer, and I want to add the incorrect class here, like this. Otherwise, I'm not adding anything to the class. Okay, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna go back here. Let's go to the elements. So let's inspect them here. So we have these are the items. We see they have a class, but it's empty. So if I click on Chicago is incorrect, and it's adding a incorrect class. Right? If I click on New Orleans, it adds a div class correct, because this is the correct answer. But we don't have any styling for them yet. So let me go to answer.css file. Let me add some styling here. And I want to add it's going to be answers correct, and it's going to be answers correct and hover. So whenever it's going to be correct and whenever I'm going to hover over it, it's going to be the same stuff. So we'll have a background color. This is going to be 1db 900, and below is going to be a border left, and the border left is going to be 4 pixels solid, and the color is going to be 0f6300, which is going to be like a darker green, and the color, it's going to be text color is going to be white, like this. And I want to add the same thing for the incorrect answer. So we'll have answers.incorrect, and it's going to be answers incorrect hover, and this is going to be red. So it's going to be almost the same thing, but just the colors are going to be different. This one is going to be EC 1 2 3 4 zeros, and the border left is going to be FF 3B 3B. It's going to be a dark, like a lighter red. So let's save it and let's go back and let's see what's going on now. Now you see, I didn't refresh it, but let me refresh it. So if I click on Chicago becomes red because it's not correct. If I click on New Orleans, it becomes green. If I click on New York, it becomes red because it's not correct. But you see, I can play with them now here. The last step here, I want to disable, after I click on one of these answers, I want to disable these options so I can't click on the other option. And to do that, we should go back here where we have our answer. Let me think about this a little bit. Actually no, answer. Let's go back to the quiz main.js file, and where's our answer here? Thinking that's where we want to add it. So here is gonna be another. That's interesting. Okay, I think that the easiest way would be to go back to our answer.js and where we have our UL, because we want to disable just the list. We don't want to disable the whole content class, because we'll have to add buttons and stuff. So let's do that here. UL. So here is going to be an if statement. So we'll have this tag disabled, and then here we'll have an if statement. If props dot clicked answer. So if we have a clicked answer, if this clicked answer is different than 0, or is different than null, or is different than false, then here the disabled tag is going to be active, so it's going to be true, otherwise false. So if we clicked on any of these answers, we want to disable this UL. Alright, let's save it. Let's go back here, refresh it, just to pay attention to this one. So if I click on any of these ones, it disables it. It adds this disabled tag, but it doesn't disable because we should add some style CSS here. So to do that, let's go back to our answer.css file, and here let's add answers, and we have this disabled tag, so you should type in the same way here, disabled. Now we will have a pointer events none. Alright, and opacity is gonna be 0.7. Oops, 0.7, like this. Alright, let's go back. So we see that it already works, but like for example, if I click on New Orleans, it becomes green, and then I can't click on any other option, and it becomes kind of like a blurry or something. This is just opacity. I was adding the opacity, and I added the pointer event none, so I can't click on it. I can't do anything here anymore. Okay, now we should add a new button here, which is in this case we should have a button and notification which is saying correct answer or incorrect answer, and then a next button. Now here we can close this file because we don't have, that's all we have in there. Alright, let's go ahead and add the buttons, but no, actually wait, before we do that, the buttons we want to add below here. We want to add that notification. So here I'm gonna add an empty wrapper like this. Oops. An empty wrapper because I want to add something else here below the list. Here is gonna be a div tag like this, and we will have curly brackets because it's gonna be an if statement here. So here we check props dot correct answer. If props dot correct answer, if we clicked on the correct answer, all right, then we want to output correct answer. Otherwise, if props dot clicked answer, if there is anything in the clicked answer, if that means if the clicked answer is different than 0, that means we clicked on something, and this clicked answer has a value or something, which means that we clicked on the wrong answer. So here we type in incorrect answer. Otherwise, we don't output anything. It's just an empty string here. So let's save it. Let's go back and let's see here. If I click on Chicago, we get incorrect answer. If I click on New Orleans, it gets a correct answer. Okay, so this works. Notification works. Now we should add a button. Next button, we should add it here in the quiz main.js file. Let's see how I'm gonna do that. We should add this button below our answer. So we will have button like this. Here it's gonna say next, but this button is gonna have some properties, some props. So we will have a class name. It's gonna have a class next step. Okay, we will also have a next step. So I'm thinking maybe we can just we can do it disabled, and we can just I'm just gonna make it the way it was in the demo. I use disable there too. So okay, now here in our button here we'll have to add a disabled tag like this, and this one of course is gonna have an if statement. Now we want to check false true. We want to check if the current step, so we have here clicked answer, if there is any clicked answer. So we have clicked answer, it's here. If clicked answer, and if the length of the questions, which is 3, if the length of the questions is greater or equal than step, then that's when this is gonna become false. Otherwise, it's gonna become true, and we will add some styling CSS. You will see in a minute. So we have here object dot keys questions, and we have if this one is greater or equal than step. Okay, then we output false, otherwise true, like this. All right, let's save it and let's go back here. So we see it's disabled for now by default, but if there's anything in the clicked answer, and as long as the step is not greater than the number of these questions, because if for example the last step is 3, we can't go to the 4th step. We can't update the step. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't have that button on the last page. That's why I also added this stuff here. Okay, so we have it here. Let's go back to question quiz main CSS file, and let's add some styling for this button. Let's add for next step, because that's how we name that. Where is that? Here, that's how we name this class next step. Okay, here we want to add a background color. Background color, it's gonna be 009E00. It's gonna be like a green color. Text color is gonna be white. Here we have padding, 10 pixels on the top and the bottom, and then 30 pixels on the side. We have border 0, border radius of 3 pixels. Oops. And then we have the cursor pointer, and then we have the next step for whenever we hover over. Here we want to just change the background color to green. and let's add some styling for the whenever it's disabled, because we want it to disappear from the page. We want this button to disappear. We actually can leave that. We want it to disappear from the page. Display none. Display none. Let's go back here. We still see it here. That's because I guess this old stuff. Okay, so it disappeared. Whenever I click here, correct answer. But the button doesn't show up. Let's go back here. Button doesn't show up. Disabled click answer. It's false, then it's true. And that's because we don't update the state. We didn't update the step yet. So to update the state, we should update the step, and there should be a on click event here, and we should create a new method which is going to update the step, which is so whenever I update the step, that means we go to the next question. So we'll have here on click. I'm using ES6, and here is going to be this dot next step, and we will send the step as a parameter. Okay, let's go ahead and create this method right below the click answer. So we have this like that. It's going to be the step. Okay, like this. And here we just update this set state, and we want to update first of all the step. It's going to be step plus 1, and then we want to update the correct answer and the clicked answer to make them 0, because we go to a new question, and on the new question we didn't click on any answers yet. So correct answer 0 and clicked answer 0, like this. And then we should also, okay, so yeah, like this. Let's save it. Let's go back here and let's click on Chicago, for example. Yeah, but that's weird. The weird part is that this button doesn't show up here. Okay. New Orleans. Let's see what's going on here now. I think that's not I think, but that's for sure because I didn't put length here. Didn't put length here, so let's go back and check now. Okay, so now it works. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so if I click on New Orleans, it shows the correct answer, and then if I click next, I clicked next, but it doesn't. What is the capital? Let's check the correct answer. It's still 2, so it doesn't update the state for some reason. Let's go back here. Let's see. Correct answers needs to be correct answer. Okay, correct answer. Make sure, guys, you don't make this mistake. Correct answer. Okay, let's go back. Alright, refresh it one more time just in case. Click New Orleans and click next, so we get the next question, which is second on what is capital of Greece, and if it should be Athens. If I click here, it makes it green, the button showing up, correct answer, go next. And then this is the last question, which is saying what planet gave birth to Superman. It's the correct answer is Krypton, but I'm gonna pick Saturn just to see if it works. Everything works fine. Now we click next, and here we get an error because this should be the last page. On the last page we should have that thank you, or it should say you have completed the quiz and stuff like that. So let's do that. Let's do that stuff in here. Where is our content stuff? Okay, where we have the return. return content in the content. Okay, the content div, this one here. I'm gonna add a curly bracket here below the content, div class content, and another curly bracket here at the end of this div. Alright, and here I want to add an if statement, which is going to check if this is the last step. If this is not the last step, wait, so if the step, okay, so if the step is not, it's equal or sorry about that, guys, it's just spinning in my mind. Okay, so if the, okay, we want to get the number of the questions we have here, which is 3. Okay, so as long as the number of the questions is greater or equal than the step, we show this functionality. If not, then we show last page. Okay, so let's do that. If step is not greater than equal than object dot keys questions, make sure don't forget dot length, then we show up this stuff from here like this, add a parenthesis like this. And this one actually needs to be wrapped up because we have buttons, we have all this needs to be wrapped in an empty wrapper. You can add a div if you want. I'm just gonna add an empty wrapper like this. Okay, otherwise we output here the last page, which is going to have a div, div class name. It's gonna be final page, and here we will have h1, which is going to say you have completed the quiz like this, and then below we will have a p tag, which is going to say your score is score of, we have here the number of the questions, so we do that object, sorry about that, object dot keys questions dot length. We could actually assign this stuff to a variable, so we don't have to type in all the time object dot keys dot questions dot length. So we could assign this to a variable and just use this variable wherever we need that. But okay, and then we have another p tag, and this is gonna say thank you. Okay, so let's, okay, this one. I have to close this div because I didn't close it here, like this. Okay, and let's see, let's save it. Score is not defined because I didn't add it here in our, where's the render? Okay, let's add the score like this. Alright, we didn't add styling for this final page, so let's do that in the quiz main.css file. It's just a little bit of styling for the h1 tag, so let's do that here. Final page h1. I'm just trying to copy and paste it, but because it's so late, guys, I'm afraid to just misspell something here. Okay, so we have text align center, and then here we have margin 15 pixels and 0, 15 pixels on top and the bottom, and then 0 on the side. And then with font size 25 pixels, and then we have font family. Font family. Here we want to add Arial, and then sans serif, like this. And then the font weight, it's gonna be bold. We want to add a color, which is text color. So this one is going to be 008416, which is gonna be like green, and text transform none, and the text shadow, we don't need this one though. I don't know why I left them here. Text none. Oops. Alright, so we have text shadow none. Alright, let's save it. Let's go back here. Let's see, Chicago, next Athens, next Mars, click next. So this is our page. Okay, this is the last page. You have completed the quiz. Your score is, and the score doesn't show up, of 3. Thank you. So for some reason our score is not showing up. Let's go back and see. Because I misspelled it. Because I misspelled it here. It needs to be score. It needs to be score. Alright, score. Final page. And let's also add some styling here for the final page itself. And let's put here text align center. Okay, save this one here too. Let's go back and let's check this one again. Oh, here we go. So it works now. We've got the score working, we've got this page working, everything is fine. And console, we don't have any errors or anything like that. So if you want to add more questions, you can add them from here. You can add another question and then make sure you add more answers for that question. So you have another 3 or 4 answers, I don't know. Make sure you add the correct answer here, and then that's gonna be it, because we have all this stuff dynamically. So it outputs the answers dynamically, the questions dynamically, and stuff like that. So that's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for my channel, and I will see you guys in the next videos.